You spent an hour getting ready, changed your outfit 3 times, and worried about your hair and your makeup, whether these shoes were a little too much. You're wondering if he's going to notice the effort you put in, if he'll care at all about your lipstick shade, or whether you got everything just right, as intended. Here's the truth. He's noticing things, just not the things you think. Men aren't sitting across from you analyzing whether your accessories coordinate or if you nailed the perfect smoky eye. They're picking up on completely different signals. Some are obvious, some you didn't even know you were sending. And if you've ever walked away from a date wondering, what was he thinking or why he didn't call again? Understanding what men actually notice might explain a lot. I also filmed an episode about what the women notice. Today we're breaking down exactly what's registering in his brain from the moment you walk in until the moment you leave. The stuff he's actually aware of, the stuff he's not even consciously thinking about, but is absolutely influencing how he feels about you. That's intriguing, sounds interesting. I hope you'll stick around because that's what's on the agenda. Let's start with the obvious. Men are noticing how you look. Are you put together? Do you look like you care? That's the kind of stuff that's landing with that. Not whether your nails are professionally done or if your jeans are this season's style. Just, did you show up like this matters to you? Because effort is attractive. Not perfection, effort. Okay, remember how just now I said to you that he notices what you look like? Allow me to get a little more specific. After that quick overall scan, your vibe and how you carry yourself, it's your boobs. Yeah, he noticed. You could walk in wearing a puffer coat zipped to your chin and somehow he still noticed. It's not a decision that he's making. It's just biology doing what biology does. His eyes will flicker down at least once. It's practically muscle memory. Low cut top? He noticed. Turtleneck? Yeah, he still noticed. Just had to work a little harder for it. It doesn't make him a creep. It just makes him human with functioning vision. So don't stress about it or try to outthink it. It's already happened, probably within the first 30 seconds. And now we're just all moving on with our lives. But then his attention narrows to specifics, your eyes, your smile. Funny enough, that's what women notice first about men too. Are you looking at him when you talk, when he talks? Or are your eyes darting around the room like you're a Secret Service agent scanning for threats? And your smile, is it real or is it that customer service smile you give when you're being polite but internally planning your grocery list or escape? Men can tell the difference. A genuine smile makes them feel like they're doing something right. And that forced one, I can't do it anymore. It hurts. It makes them feel like they're at a dentist appointment and you're just enduring until you can leave. Men are paying attention to your energy. Are you fun to be around? Do you seem like you're enjoying yourself? Or does it seem like this is an obligation to you that you're going to cross off your to-do list? This doesn't mean you need to be some bubble of relentless enthusiasm bouncing around like you're hosting a children's show. But if you're sighing about the traffic before you even sit down and complaining about your day before you've even been handed your putt-putt clubs, launching into a rant about your coworker Karen who microwaves fish in the office kitchen, he's already doing math on how quickly he can wrap this up. Because negativity is contagious. You start listing everything that's wrong. The parking was terrible. This place is a little too loud. Your boss is the worst. Your sister won't stop texting. And suddenly he's sitting there wondering if anything makes you happy, or if dealing with you would just be a full-time job of trying to cheer you up while you point out everything that's slightly off. Men want to feel like being with you is easy, like you're someone who can find the positive and the good in every situation immediately. They're not looking for toxic positivity, but somebody who doesn't treat every minor inconvenience like a personal insult. You know how when you were little, every holiday you got stuck at the kids' table? Wobbly chair, plastic cups, trying to cut a roll with a butter knife the size of your thumb. And then one day you're finally old enough to sit at the real table. Linen napkins, full-size forks, maybe even a glass with a stem. Becoming a channel member is a little like that. Same great company, just a better seat and a better view. So if you feel like claiming your spot, the join button is right there. I'm saving you a chair. Now we can head back to the episode. Lighthearted means that you can laugh at yourself and you don't take things all too seriously. You can roll with the punches when things don't go perfectly. The waiter brings you the wrong drink, and instead of acting like he insulted your family, you just take it with kindness. Bitterness is the opposite. It's when you've maybe been through some stuff and you're still hauling it around like an overpacked suitcase that you refuse to put down for even a minute. Men can smell bitterness from across the table. The way you talk about your ex or past relationships, like their crime scenes. The little comments about all men are typical when something reminds you of an old wound you're still picking at. I had a client who went on a date, and the woman he was with brought up her ex-husband 4 times in the first 20 minutes or so. Not because he was relevant to anything, just because she couldn't stop. Every story ended with, and that's when I realized I just couldn't trust him. By the time dessert came, my client felt like he was on trial for crimes committed by somebody else entirely. You don't have to pretend you don't have a past, but if every story ends with, and that's why I have trust issues now, he's going to start wondering if he's on a date or an unpaid therapy session, and whether everything he says is going to get filtered through the lens of what some other guy did to you. Let's see. Men notice how you carry yourself, your posture, the way you take up space or don't. Are you slouching like you're trying to fold yourself into the smallest possible version of you? Or are you sitting up and owning your space, looking like you belong here? Posture is one of those sneaky little things that broadcasts confidence without you saying a word. And confidence, real confidence, not the performative kind, is really attractive. Not arrogance, not I'm better than everybody else here and I want everyone to know it, not that. I'm comfortable with me and I'm not apologizing for it, that kind. And when you seem comfortable in your own skin, it makes him more comfortable too. When you seem nervous or apologetic, there's just this extra energy that spreads like a cold in preschool. Everybody's feeling weird now and they don't exactly know why. And honestly, confidence and comfort are basically the same thing in this situation, right? Like, what's he really reading? Just whether you seem at ease? Whether you're present and relaxed or tense and stuck in your head spiraling about whether you're sitting weird or if that thing you said 3 minutes ago sounded stupid. That anxiety shows up in how you sit, how you move or respond when something unexpected happens. It all kind of blends together into one vibe. She's good or she's not. Men absolutely notice whether you're a good conversationalist. And by good, I don't mean whether you can, recite interesting facts or tell entertaining stories even. I mean, are you actually listening? Because here's what happens on way too many dates. You ask a question, he answers, and while he's answering, while his mouth is still moving and words are still coming out, you're already 3 steps ahead, planning your response. You're not even listening to him. You're having a completely separate conversation with yourself in your head and just waiting for him to stop talking so you can have your turn. Men pick up on that. They can tell when you're genuinely engaged versus when you're being polite while mentally rehearsing your monologue. The women who men truly remember and look forward to seeing again are the ones who ask follow-up questions, who actually build on what they just said instead of going, oh, that's nice, and immediately pivoting to something completely unrelated. Women who make him feel like he's heard instead of like he's just filling dead air till you can talk about your thing again. I had a male client tell me about a woman who asked him what he did for work and then spent his entire answer looking past him. And when he finished, she said, oh, that's cool, and immediately started telling him about her job. He said it felt like he was talking to somebody who was only there in body, that her mind had checked out before the appetizer arrived. And here's the other thing men notice. Are you trying to control everything? A lot of men are coming out of long-term relationships where their partner slowly took over everything, planned every weekend, decided where they'd eat, made every call, and while some men are totally fine with that, a lot of them are actively looking for something a little different and somebody who doesn't need to be in the driver's seat every single second. So if you're steamrolling the conversation or deciding where you'll sit and what you're going to order and how long you'll stay, what you'll do after, without ever once checking in to see what he thinks, he's noticing that. And he's wondering if dating you would just mean showing up while you ran the whole production. Let there be space. Let him contribute. Let the date be something that you're building together instead of a one-woman show that he bought tickets to. Here's something most of my male clients tell me, and it's going to either validate you or annoy you depending on where you fall on this. They know within the first 5 minutes if there's chemistry. 5 minutes or less. Not 5 dates, not let me spend a few weeks getting to know her and see if feelings develop. Less than 5 minutes. Men are paying attention to whether there's a spark, whether something clicks, whether the energy between you feels natural and easy or like two robots attempting human interaction. And if it's not there in those first few minutes, it's probably not showing up later. That doesn't mean the rest of the date is pointless. You can still have a perfectly nice time, but in his head, he's already filed you under nice person, no chemistry, and he's not changing that folder name. Women sometimes think attraction is something that you can build over time. Like if you just spend enough hours together, eventually something will spark. Men, they believe that they know within seconds whether or not this spark is there. And if it's not, no amount of nothing is going to change their mind or bring it into existence. And it's unfortunate for a lot of them, actually. Okay, look, I know this has been talked about until we're all exhausted. Everybody knows you're supposed to put your phone away on a date. And yet somehow people still don't. So yeah, men notice if you're on your phone down here, or if you're checking it every 3 minutes, if you're texting under the table, like you're hiding it, but you're not hiding it at all because the glow from your screen is lighting up your lap like a sad little campfire. If you're genuinely expecting an important call, your kids are at home or your mom's in the hospital, whatever, just say that up front. Hey, my daughter might need to reach out, so I'm just going to leave this phone here facing up with the mute on. Done. He gets it. But if you're just scrolling Instagram while he's mid-sentence, you're telling him everything he needs to know about how interested you are. Men are scanning for high-maintenance behavior from the moment you sit down. And I don't mean you like nice things or you have standards. No, I mean, is everything a whole production? Does the table have to be perfect? Is the lighting not quite right? Is the music too loud in here? Is your chair wobbly and the menu not what you were hoping for? Are you sending your drink back because there's too much ice? Do you need the server to list every ingredient in the dish because you're sensitive to things that you're really just picky about? I had a client tell me about a woman who asked to move tables 3 times. First one was too close to the kitchen. She could hear dishes clattering. I get that. Second one had a draft. Okay. Third one was near a family with kids and she can't concentrate with background noise. By the time they finally sat down, he'd already decided this was their first and last date, because if picking a table requires this much negotiation, what's planning a weekend going to look like? What's navigating literally anything in life that doesn't go exactly according to plan going to look like? Having preferences is fine. Knowing what you like is fine. But if every single thing requires adjustment and accommodation and special treatment, he's doing math in his head about what a relationship with you would cost him in terms of energy. And if the answer is everything, he's out. Here's a big one. Men are trying to figure out if you're actually interested in him. Not just going through the motions because you showed up and you're too polite to bail, but genuinely actually interested in who he is. Are you asking him questions? And not just the autopilot ones that everybody asks, like what do you do? Where are you from? Do you have siblings? But the actual follow-up questions that show you're actually paying attention. Are you leaning in a little bit when he talks? Or are you leaning back with your arms crossed like you're a judge and he's presenting his case? Because there's a massive difference between being interested and being polite. And men can tell the difference. Interested looks like this. He mentions he went to Costa Rica and you light up. Oh my God, really? What was that like? What made you pick Costa Rica? And then when he answers, you're actually listening. So you can ask another question based on what he just said. You're building on the conversation like you're curious about this human being sitting across from you. And polite looks like this. Oh, Costa Rica, cool. And then silence while you're wondering whose turn it is to talk next. Or worse, you go, oh, that's so nice. I traveled to Punta Cana 2 years ago, and that was really a beautiful place. like you were just waiting for the keyword travel so you could talk about yourself. And if you seem lukewarm or checked out, he's not going to try to win you over. He's just going to assume that you're not interested and move on. Because why would he invest energy into somebody who's clearly not investing any in him? All right, as the date winds down and the check comes, if that's the kind of date you're on, men are watching how you handle this moment in the same way you watch them. And it's weirdly telling. Do you reach for your wallet? Even if it's just a little gesture, do you offer to split it? Or do you just sit there like you're a statue staring at the check like it's a piece of abstract art you're contemplating, fully expecting him to handle it without even acknowledging that money is changing hands? Here's the thing, a lot of men are happy to pay, especially on a first date. All my guys pay on first dates. They're generous, wonderful men, and of course they do. But they want to see the acknowledgement or the gesture. They want to know you're not just assuming this is how it works, that you're willing to contribute. And if he waves you off and he says, oh, no, I've got this, great. But the fact that you offered, that you at least made the motion towards your purse, and here's what I tell my gals to say. Can I help you with this? And if he says, oh, yeah, well, then go for your wallet. I think about one of my clients telling me that she was just fumbling through her purse, realizing that she didn't even bring her wallet when she left the house. Then if he does tell you that he would like to pick up your portion of the tab, then be the grateful person that you are and say, oh, are you sure? And if he says no a second time, that he still wants to be generous, then express that gratitude even more by saying, oh, it's so sweet of you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. But the fact that you offered, that you at least made the motion towards your purse or voiced that offer, men notice. They're paying attention to whether you appreciate the gesture or whether you think you're entitled to it. And that tiny moment tells them a lot about what dating you would actually be like. All right, so as we get to the end of the date and you stand up, whether you're heading to the restroom or leaving entirely, men notice your butt. I know we're back to the physical stuff, full circle now. It's just like the boobs thing earlier. This isn't some creepy, intentional move. It's just biology. When you stand up and walk away, his eyes are going to follow you. And that's how human brains work. You just really can't fight it. So if you've been stressing about whether your outfit makes your butt look good, he noticed. For better or worse, he noticed. So there you have it. I think that was 14 things that men are actually noticing on a first date. Some of it is physical, some of it is your energy, some of it's how you show up as a human being. And if you're sitting there thinking, wow, that's a lot to keep track of, here's the good news. You don't have to keep track of any of it. Just show up as the best, most genuine version of yourself. Be present and kind and interested, and let everything else sort itself out. Because at the end of the day, men are just trying to figure out if you're somebody they want to see again one more time. And the women they actually want to see again, they're not the perfect ones. They're the ones who made it feel really easy and natural. Fun. Not perfect. Fun. All right, I hope you found that interesting or helpful. If you did, you might want to check out this episode. Depending on which one gets uploaded first, this could be the episode where the ladies talk about what they're noticing the fellas are doing on a first date. Oh, and hey, before you go, could you please give my little mom here the thumbs up she's requesting? I showed her the subscriber count today, and she said, that's it? So now I'm really under a lot of pressure. So please don't forget to subscribe also before you leave, because understanding what men notice is half the battle. The other half, actually showing up, being yourself. I'll keep reminding you how to do all of that twice a week. Appreciate you being here today, and until next time, have a good one.